Welcome back to the Forge for another rusty production. Today I'm going to try my hand at making some bolt tongs. So as I said, I'm going to try my hand at some bolt tongs today. I'm working with a lot more of these old chisel parts and things like that. I'm just trying to work with some heavier sort of carbon steel. And now it's junk steel. I don't know what it is in particular. We already know this. And I am a novice and a beginner at all this sort of stuff. So this is practice, if not for anything else. But I'm going to be working with this rebar to do the work on the tongs. I've already upset the ends of it. You can see that's pretty rough upsetting. But that's actually going to create that fat end that I need, the fat end that I need on the tongs. I keep forgetting what that part's called, so let me know in the comments below. But let me heat up the forge and then we can start working these ends out and get started. Now the thing with rebar is obviously there's a lot more prep. You've got to bring this thing square and sort of get rid of as much of this ribbing as possible. But for me that's fine because it's just practice. Part here. Back a little bit. Square it up. Alright, now, next I think I'm going to come in at this angle. Create my hinge. Alright, so that's our boss. If I'm saying the wrong words, I'm going to be really embarrassed, but I'm pretty sure that's the boss. Alright, so that goes there. Then what have I got to do? I've got to set that back down here, so I'll just heat it back up again and then I'll do this part. We're not actually going to get very long reins in this, so I've got to make sure I lengthen these right out when the time comes. Alright, set back down on the other side now. There. Just going to lengthen these reins out a little bit, give me a bit more space. Then I'll duplicate this on the other side. Obviously I've got to clean this up a little bit and then we're going to punch it. I'll just hold fire on that for a second. I might get some measurements. Here you can see there pretty much everything's where it needs to be, and I'm obviously going to round this out at the end, but I've got to cut this head first and then split it, but I'll do that once I actually once I lay down this side as well. And while I'm doing that, I will fix my hammer. Alright, so this top head part is 2 centimeters. Sorry, can't even see that. 2 centimeters there, and then from there across, geez, it's pretty bloody perfect. 10 centimeters, so 2 centimeters and 10 centimeters. And then 3 centimeters there. So I'll try and make this one the same. At the moment it's more than 2 centimeters, so I'll have to bring some of that back or bring some of it forward just to finish off this chunk there. And the other thing too is 2 centimeters by 1.5. So this is more than 1.5. So I'll bring some material back. I think I'll have to bring it in from that point there, and then I'll flatten it out. So I'll write down those numbers and I'll heat it up. Cool. We'll just set down a little higher. Oh jeez, the scale hit me. Yeah, just under 2 centimeters, and I've got more material up the top, so I can work that back. That's about right where I want it. Now what I'm going to do is lengthen these pieces out here, the reins, and I'm really going to get into those and sort of make them probably about half the width. They'll be fairly thin, but I want them to be long enough. So I'll head it all down and I'll come on back. I really didn't think we'd have enough, but I think we've got plenty now. And I can make those reins even thinner than that, but I'll just end up rounding them out, which will give it a little bit more length again. Alright, so I'll turn the camera off for the moment, but I'll get these both lengthened down on both sides, give it the extra space we need before cutting it back. Alright, so I've roughed in the length here. You can see there's still some ribbing there, but that's fine. What I'm going to be doing is I've given it a sort of a little bit of a rounding up around the top here, closer to the boss. And what I'm looking to do is measure halfway and taper down to that point and chop it now. And then what I'll do is I'll round these out after those just to give them a bit of a finish. The whole thing needs finish, so things need to be moved around and what have you. But once I've split it up and I can actually put the two blanks together, then we can actually see where we're at with everything. But I'm pretty sure the measurements are correct. So I'll make a mark in the center here, taper down, and we'll get cutting. I'll clean it up afterwards and just cut it off here. They're short handles, but they're going to come out a little bit further than that. You can see through there I've got some thickness I can bring through as well. But that's absolutely fine because I'm going to be just holding them like that, holding the stock through. It's not actually that much different than the other tongs that I've got. So we've got maybe an inch different on the other ones that I'm using. Okay, we've jumped forward a little bit in time and still got a little bit more facial hair that I did earlier in the week. But we've roughed out our shape, and my next task is to split the end here so that we can create sort of a fork that's going to be able to hold the bolts. So we've got to, basically what I've got to do is chisel down through here and then open that up. And then once I've done it on both sides and I've got them basically matching, then I'll go about rounding this part so it becomes a round end on that fork. If you're wondering why I'm so out of breath and why I'm so sweaty, is I've just taken some of that rebar, the really heavy stuff, and I've been heating that up and just bending it out to create some flat stock for myself. So just been hammering away on that. That's been a bit of fun. All right, so I'll start chiseling in some score marks here, and then we'll come back.
I'm not worried about getting it too hot on the end here because I'm just going to score it, but see if I can hold that down like this. A bit easier. So my score marks are in there, now I've got to give it a bit of depth. As you can see that there, get it on the fire, and then we'll really start cutting into it. Now I don't know if this is the right idea, but I'm going to try giving the hot cut tool a go on opening up the bolt. The fork sort of claws. See how I go. I've got my score, so I can literally just lie that on there. Good. Just take it slowly, but that's opening up. You can see there. I don't know if I've got enough material, but we'll see what we can do. Might be able to actually spread it a bit. So I've got my score in there, and now I'm just looking for a way to spread that. And I haven't even had a really proper look, but I was going to use this angle to spread it out a bit, but I can see that not lasting very long. So just to keep the angle, I'm going to try this extra heavy steel. I'm going to lock it onto the top of the anvil and then spread it over the top of that. So the only thing is I think I have to cut down just a little bit more, probably about halfway, and it's about a quarter there now. Just so I can cut right into the metal to allow it to spread enough so it creates really a fork. So, yeah, it's just about right. Spread this out a little bit. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, that's not ideal. I'll come back. I'm actually just going to try on the edge of the anvil. I think that might actually do the job. Come in at the right angle. It's pretty good. And I'll get the other one looking about the same. We'll see how we go. Just going to clean up the end here. Yeah, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, and there's a whole lot of score marks all over it, but I think that's going to do the job. I'll just, a couple of bits I want to clean up. That looks just about right though. Now what we're going to have to do is we're going to bend it up and around so that that end's straight out, that end's straight out, and it's got the curve or the half moon right there. So I want to keep that straight. So I'll use the horn for that. So we'll heat up this center part. Might just heat this up a little bit more before going any further. It'll be getting close. I'll probably have to straighten it through here just so it goes out that way, but I'll bend it over a little bit more, and then I'll come back when I can mash them together and we can have a look at that. Okay, these are still a bit hot, so just gotta be a bit careful. But in essence, here's where we're at. So they're about where we want them. I'm gonna punch them now, and then I might put a bolt or something through it just for the time being while I correct them so they're in exactly the right spot. But basically that's what we're after. So I'll punch some holes through now. I'm just going to use a 6mm rivet because these are quite thin. And look, the reality is these are quite thin. They're not the most heavy duty of tongs in the world, but I think they will do me for the time being. So I'll punch this next and go from there. Just about there. There we are. There it is. Now I'm just going to heat that up and give it a bit of a drift. So I've just put a screw through that just to see where we're at, and they're actually pretty good. The bend here is different from the bend there, and I'd like to clean that up so that they're uniform. And I've got to, I think, have them go out a little further that way so I can get closer here with the reins. But in essence, that's not too bad. Like they open up to about there. That's about all I need. And then we'll have them close a little bit closer. And it's not the neatest thing in the world, I will say, that's for sure. I don't particularly like what I've done with the Boss. I've got to get better at that. But in it, I think they're going to work. Let me just quickly try the mix and stock. Try this. Yeah, that's pretty good. And that's a thicker than what I was expecting to use type piece. So let me try something a little bit thinner. Probably something more like this is what I'm after. It's got a hexagon on here, so it's probably not ideal, but it's probably better for round stock. But that's what I want it for. Should be happy with that. Let's try, what else do we want? This sort of stock. Make sure I get a decent grip on it. Now, ideally, I don't want it to move, so once I rivet it, we're not going to have that sort of movement. So make sure that's correct. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Alright, so, be careful, that's still hot. Alright, so next steps, heat it back up. I've just got to match these so that they fit just cleanly. Then have them come out a little bit further and a little bit flatter there, and then we'll look at riveting them and we'll finish them off. Just going to create the head of this rivet, just heat it up one side of the metal. That's coming out. Alright, so there's the top of my rivet. It's not that nice, but that should do the job because I'll clean it up once it's actually in the tongs. have to heat it back up in the fire. Just heat that back up and get it moving a bit. Just be careful about that. Have to bend the arm. I'm not trying to bend the reins too much. Got to create some wiggle room there. I might just try and bend these in while I got it. And what I will do is I'll just cool this spot here down and then see if I can get a bit of movement in the rivet. Okay, the metal's just going to shrink a little bit as it cools down, so I'll get a little bit more movement in there. That's kind of looking the part. So just some cleanup. I've got to straighten these areas out here, so it's just got a better lock, which will allow me to get these reins a little closer together. And I think then I'm just going to minor misalignment here. We'll correct that, and then I think we'll be good to go. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to heat up just there. Bring that edge back, just that rein back just a touch. Couple of little small clean up things, and then I'll come up and we'll finish it all off. Very hot. Whoa! Ouch! 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 Very hot up that end. Oh. Whew. Yeah, the thing about burning through a glove is it's already hot on the outside, and it's hotter on the outside than what's already transferred through to your fingers. So if you feel yourself burning, it's going to burn hotter for a little bit longer. So I had to pull my hand out. All right. It's pretty well aligned. There's our finished result. I'll give it a bit of a brush, heat up and a bit of a brush, and we'll be done. Well, I am exhausted. This has been a couple of days worth of work. It probably shouldn't have been, but it's because I'm doing a number of different processes on top for practice purposes. One of those is actually taking rebar to use to create these tongs rather than just starting with either square or round stock. So I'm doing that on purpose because I'm practicing with my hammer, getting better at that, trying to get cleaner with the blows. But it means that I've got some textures that are staying in these handles. I actually like the way that is. It gives me something to hold on to. And look, at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the way these have turned out. They're not probably as thick as I would like, and the boss, I'm not really happy with how thick that is because I feel like there's a little bit of movement if I squeeze down hard enough.
But for the first time making Bolt Jaw Tongs, I'm really excited actually to use them. So if you liked what you saw here, give us a like. If you'd like to leave a comment as far as like things I could be doing better or things that I did well, I would love to have that in the comment section below, so please leave comments. If you want to subscribe for more of these videos or to see me using these in the future, subscribe clearly and hit the notification bell so that tells you when a new video comes out. Until next time, this has been another Rusty production. Thanks so much for watching.